now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause when I gon' have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Chicago, from Detroit to your speakers, to your headphones. Man, I appreciate y'all tuning in, of course. And I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, go ahead, shoot us a quick take. And of course, we'll play it back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So, hey, man, NBA season is going strong right now. MLB season is going strong. So go ahead and purchase those tickets and go to one of these events here. Now, anyway, look, man, there's a lot of moves going on. So that's kind of what I wanted to bring to attention here. Anybody who's tuned in on a live stream on YouTube, of course, I appreciate it. If you listen to the podcast version, of course, I appreciate that as well. Either way, however y'all be, tapped in, either way, it's very much appreciated. But one thing I do not appreciate is all these insane trade ideas that people keep coming up with for my Detroit Pistons. And I'm seeing a lot of teams, they're proposing that we go try and get Devin Booker and we go try and get Zion Williamson and we go try and get this big name guy from this place who's not really thriving. And that's cool. I appreciate that a lot of people want to be involved in the Detroit Pistons offseason. But these trade ideas y'all proposing are just honestly ridiculous, man. I mean, Devin Booker for 4 first-round picks, Ron Holland, and Asar Thompson. Like, come on, bro. Who's doing that? And in what right mind is anybody giving away this young talent? Like, that's not even fully developed yet. Like, it's insane to me that people are proposing these ideas. And it makes me even more upset that people are standing behind these trade ideas that are ridiculous as hell. So that drives me insane, first and foremost. The second thing I want to say, man, in terms of the Pistons offseason, they don't need to try and go get Zion Williamson. They don't need to try and go get Giannis or Devin Booker, none of that. Right now, they need to just sit on ice because they got a lot of young talent in the room and on this team that are very nice. And I mean, they're developing. Who would trade all of this talent and the young pieces, the young core and the guys like that without really seeing what they can do? That's where I think you would make a huge mistake. You trade too early, you bite on it too early, then all of a sudden you end up with Devin Booker with a huge contract and he's unable to even play. And now you're screwed for the next 10 years because you're paying him so much money along with a few other guys. So that's the situation you don't really want to run into. And that's the main reason I say, Pistons got to just sit on ice. For this offseason, there are some trade ideas and some people I think they could possibly grab in terms of, making the offseason a win and picking up to help out in the offseason. But I can tell you right now, Devin Booker, Zion Williamson, Giannis Antetokounmpo, those guys are not it. Don't trade away all your assets for a guy who's just not going to bring that much value in return. Yeah, they might get to the playoffs and get to the same spot, honestly, but it's just not worth giving away all of your young talent you haven't really seen how they can develop. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And then another thing, too, I kind of want to explain because people, I'm hearing the ideas of go get this guy, go get that guy. And the Pistons aren't in need of a superstar. They aren't in desperate need of a superstar. I'll put it that way. Like, yeah, I know, obviously, it can help the team out if they grab somebody, if they pick up another star player, whatever. But they're not in desperate need where they just have to break the bank to bring in a big name superstar like everybody keep trying to propose in these trade ideas. It's insane. I mean, they literally got to the first round, took the Knicks, who's a great team, a well-balanced team, a talented team, to 6 games, and they almost took them to 7 games had Jalen Brunson not made a buzzer beater. So it's like, it's not a situation where they're just bad and they like, they'll never get over the hump if they don't bring in a new guy. Well, they had injuries and they still had a pretty successful season. So it's like, there's no desperate need to make a move out of desperation right now. It's silly for the Pistons to even do that and to consider some of these, because the young talent, I keep mentioning the young guys on the Pistons right now. Duren, he's under 25. Thompson is under 25. Ivy is under 25. Stewart, under 25. Like, you got a lot of guys on this team who are haven't even reached near a peak in terms of seeing what they can do in this league. So, it's, to me, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. The veterans who are here, you need those guys. They proved it, their worth all last season. I know Beasley was kind of bad in the playoffs, but he still had, a great season all along. Pretty much led the league in three-pointers the whole year and almost finished on top if it wasn't for Anthony Edwards. But, Toby, he played great. Tobias Harris, he really showed his behind in the playoffs and showed what he could do. So, the vets have to stay as well. And the Zion always injured. Devin Booker, I don't want to break the bank on a guy because you don't have the stability, but the guys I think we should target for the Pistons, you don't want to get rid of the young talent for some guys who are going to break the bank on you. But the talent that I think we should at least go for if the Pistons decide not to sit on ice, I think they're good if they do. If the Pistons don't make any moves, I think they'll still get back to the playoffs and have a solid season. But the people we should target is Kuminga and Cam Johnson. I'm cool with those two guys and those two names, paying those guys coming out of pocket. Kuminga, I don't want him to have a huge price tag, which he might because he's been solid with the Warriors over the past few seasons. But if Kuminga doesn't have a huge price tag, then the Pistons should for sure go for him and try and bring him there, because that's another wing player who can play the low post and also can play the four and help spread the floor and guard a lot of guys too. So Kuminga is, we know what kind of player he is, very dynamic, can shoot, expanded his game a lot in the past 4 years. So I would love to see Kuminga in Detroit with Cade Cunningham and Ivy and all the other young talent that's over there. However, if he's asking for a huge ticket, then we just got to let him go. We got to let him go. Another player will come along, and it's nothing to make a huge deal about. Cam Johnson is another guy. He's in a tough situation right now in Brooklyn. It's just disgusting. It's disgusting where Cam Johnson is because his talent is literally going to waste. This guy's a pure shooter. He's a good shooter. And I think Detroit could really use another great shooter like Cam Johnson, especially if they don't bring back Tim Hardaway Jr. So I would love to see Cam Johnson in a Detroit Pistons uniform. But the one thing, and I stand on this, man, and I will stand on it until all of next season and forever, the Pistons do not need another big name star right now. They're not in desperate need of a big name star to trade all of their young assets, to trade all of their draft assets and get a big name star. It has not worked out for any team who's done that in the past 3 years. You look at the Phoenix Suns, who did that same thing. They look stupid. You look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. They profited from this type of deal because the Clippers gave away all their assets. You look at so many teams in the league right now who did that same thing of giving away all their assets just to try and win next year or the year after that for a big name superstar, and it's gotten them nowhere. So why the hell would any Pistons fan out here want them to trade all the young talent, the Asar, the Ron Holland, Ivy, picks, draft picks for a Devin Booker or a Zion Williamson or a Giannis? Like, Giannis is maybe a different discussion. I ain't gonna lie to you. but still, like, you get my point of what I'm saying. Like, it's just not worth it of trading all of your assets for the future to bring in one guy who may not even make that much of a difference to take you to the playoffs. They already got their star player in Cade Cunningham. So they don't really need to, make a desperate move to bring somebody who's only going to get them to the second round and lose. Like, build for the next few years. It takes time, but I think they're on the right pace of everything. So I'm definitely content with it. However, look, man, we got some more stuff because the Pistons, they aren't the only ones in the trade talks right now. Giannis Antetokounmpo did request a trade, so we'll discuss that in just a sec. But we'll take a quick break first, and then we'll jump back into this whole discussion of Giannis and his landing spots and some reports from Shams of what's kind of going on with that whole Milwaukee Bucks and the Giannis Antetokounmpo thing. So we'll be right back. It's halftime. All right, man. So look, as I mentioned beforehand, the Milwaukee Bucks are looking to possibly move Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe they don't want to as much as Giannis is trying to right now. But Giannis, he did allegedly, or it wasn't really allegedly, he said it. Giannis did say on his brother's podcast that, if his team doesn't win a championship within the next 2 years, he's going to be looking for an out. Obviously, the Bucks, they fell short this year, getting put out in the first round. So that means that there's a lot of talks going on about Giannis possibly leaving the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, we've had these discussions in the past. of if Giannis would actually lead the Milwaukee Bucks. And he's been vocal about saying some things like, some things need to happen in the front office. Some moves need to be made in order for him to feel comfortable staying in Milwaukee. Now, he does want to win. He's been clear on making that a priority, that he does want to win. But one of the things about this is Shams did have some reports to say about Giannis possibly leaving the Bucks. And this is crucial information here because, as you know, when it's coming from Shams, it's important, man. He's always on target with it. He's always got the inside scoop. But apparently, Giannis and the Bucks, they're not really in a great situation to win moving forward. I heard him speak and I heard him report on multiple things. Damian Lillard is on his big contract. You got Kyle Kuzma, who's also on a big contract. The Milwaukee Bucks don't have any draft assets to trade until 2032, which is crazy. So they can't really make anything happen through the draft or trade anybody to bring more pieces there to the Milwaukee Bucks. They got a lot of guys who are proven talent on smaller contracts. So they may even want to go look out and get a better deal with another team rather than stay in Milwaukee. So from a financial aspect and the Milwaukee Bucks bringing talent to the team to help Giannis, they can't do that. The Bucks cannot help Giannis in any type of way right now if the goal is to win a championship. Dame is hurt. He's probably going to be out all next season. Kyle Kuzma didn't really live up to the contract hype, and obviously that contract is a huge effect on the Milwaukee Bucks and them bringing in other talent. So they can't really bring in more people and pay more people to come to Milwaukee. Also, too, you got to keep in mind, no first-round picks to trade until 2032. That's 6 years from now, which is just crazy. So they're like they're not looking good. The Bucks, they're on a downhill slope. So I wouldn't be mad at Giannis for him to go request the trade and go somewhere. As of right now, it's been reported that the Brooklyn Nets are kind of the main team who's vocal about trying to go get Giannis Antetokounmpo. And, I wouldn't want to go play with the Knicks out in Brooklyn, man. No offense to any of them Nets fans out there. But let's be honest, bro. It don't matter what you throw at the Milwaukee Bucks, any picks, any players. If I'm Giannis and I have any say about where I can go, I'm not choosing the Brooklyn Nets at all. That's going to be the last team that I choose because they're just a disastrous franchise, bro. And they've continued to behave in this manner over the past 5 to 6 years. It's been disastrous for them. No matter who they had and what talent they had on the team. So Brooklyn Nets would immediately be a no. Landing spots for Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think it could be very helpful. I think it would be nice to see Giannis in a Rockets uniform, honestly. Rockets got the money to pay for it. They got the draft capital they can send over to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then obviously they got the young core too, and Jalen Green, Sengun. And I don't know how long Steven Adams is going to be around there, but he's still another solid piece that can help solidify that front court with Giannis Antetokounmpo. So I wouldn't be mad at that. Jabari Smith is over there. They have the young talent. And I think the good blend of young and old and Giannis being in his prime, playing with the Rockets would be a phenomenal move for him because he could still keep the payday, probably even renew his contract after his contract is up in a couple years with the Rockets because, yes, they have the financials to take care of him. They can build that long relationship with him and then also bring in other players with Giannis as they continue to rebuild. So, Houston has a favorable chance here. And then another team I can't rule out just for the fact that it's been in talks. It's been on a dream list of NBA fans for a minute now. You got to consider the Golden State Warriors possibly landing Giannis Antetokounmpo. Man, I know it sounds strange and a lot of people would not want to see it, but I think Giannis has a good chance of possibly going to the Warriors. To me, this has been on the dream list of just players seeing certain players play together. I think it would be dope, bro, because not only is Steph on the back end, but Giannis entering his prime, bringing a dog in to that Warriors uniform, like, man, that would be nasty. Draymond, obviously, is going to do what Draymond do, but I would just love to see Steph Curry have another player like Giannis. And I know what some people going to say. They're going to be like, well, damn, how much help does Steph need? He had KD, he had Clay. Who else does he need? He's only 6 foot. So you tell me how much can a guy who's 6 foot do? He already won a championship by himself being 6 foot against the Boston Celtics. But, you going to really be mad at him for getting a guy like Giannis who can help out the team too? But that's a winning move to me. If Giannis does go to the Warriors, that's a winning move to me. I accept that. I think it's dope. I think it's something that could probably go on to be a good relationship as well, especially if the Warriors don't pay Kuminga, like I'm pretty sure they won't. But I think that could be a good landing spot. As of now, one thing I know for sure, Giannis ain't gonna touch. He's not touching Brooklyn. He's not touching Brooklyn. No way in hell. No way. I just, man, ain't no way. I don't know what it is about the Brooklyn Nets, but I just don't see it happening. I know there's a couple other options out there where he may possibly go, but I truly, genuinely believe the Rockets would be the best landing spot for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Just because they got the draft capital, they got the young talent that's there. They can still pay for other players to come play for the Houston Rockets. And like, it's kind of an upward incline for the Houston Rockets right now. And then honestly, I would be a fan of him going to the Rockets because get Giannis the hell out the East. We don't need him in the East anymore. Send him out West, especially since my Pistons is playing good now. Like, we don't need Giannis over here in the East no more. Let him go somewhere else. He can be there. He could be just get him out the East at this point. I'm sure Cavs and Pacers, all of them want him out the East too. No, Celtics want him out the East. All of that type of stuff, man. So, this is. I think it's interesting. And then, shout out to you as well, Joey. Let's go New York. Knicks. Hey, Knicks, I really do hope y'all win, man. I hope y'all win this series. So, Joey in the live chat, shout out to you. Hey, again, anybody who's listening, leave us a quick take, 219-413-9405. You can always leave a quick take, and we'll play it back on our voicemail line. I'm not going to cap to y'all, especially since I'm live right now. I think that would just be silly to do, but no, man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I haven't even checked the voicemail line. So as I'm close to doing that, I'm gonna just check right now and just, double back to see if anybody did go ahead and hit us up and, leave a quick take. But, man, I will say the whole Giannis trade, it's overdue. It's overdue. I genuinely don't see an upside for him staying in Milwaukee. He can be as loyal as he wants to, but at the end of the day, if the goal is to win a championship, the Bucks ain't gonna do that, man. The Bucks ain't gonna make it happen. They just don't have enough right now to really make it happen. And I know, everybody is like on the train of, oh, well, he's got to stay loyal. You run to another team, and it's not gonna work out. Look at the Russell Westbrook thing and how long it took him to finally find a home. I get it, but the Bucks ain't it. I'll tell you that. All right, yeah, anyway, that's it, man. We ain't got no voicemail, so I'm going to leave y'all with a positive note here, and the positive note is just going to be as simple as, just don't quit, man. Sometimes the only difference of knowing if you'll succeed at what you're trying to get to and if you won't succeed is just the matter of if you continue to push forward and if you stop. I mean, there's a lot of people out here who are terrible at what they do. A lot of CEOs terrible at what they do. A lot of artists terrible at what they do. But it's just the fact that they did not stop, which is what helped them get to the point of where they are. Whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's a job, whatever the case is. So I know it sounds simple, but the matter is just don't quit. And I feel that same way with myself. That's a message I can relate to just because not quitting, man. There's been times where it's rough, whatever, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, you just continue to move forward and then, you're going to continue to progress. But hey, slow motion is better than no motion. And a little bit of something is a little bit better than nothing. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's the positive note. That's all I got for y'all. So I appreciate you if you've been tuning in. If you listen to the live stream, if you hear, or if you listen to the podcast version, iPodcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. And then follow us on Instagram as well at I am Manny Wilson. TikTok at I am Manny Wilson. That's my personal, but follow the podcast page as well at The Round Podcast on all platforms. You can check us out. And then from there, man, we'll be back later on this week. And so on and so on and so on.